What was the Lei Aurea? Have you ever wondered how Brazil became the last country in the Western world to abolish slavery? The answer lies in a significant piece of legislation known as the Lei Aurea, or Golden Law. This law was officially enacted on May 13, 1888, and it marked a monumental shift in Brazilian society. The Lei Aurea was signed by Princess Isabel, who was acting as regent for her father, Emperor Pedro II, while he was away in Europe. The text of the Lei Aurea was notably brief and straightforward. It consisted of just 2 articles. The first article declared that slavery was officially extinct from the date of the law. The second article revoked any previous laws that allowed slavery to continue. This simplicity made the law powerful, as it left no room for interpretation. The Lei Aurea did not come out of nowhere. It was the result of a gradual process of abolition in Brazil. Before the Lei Aurea, there were 2 important laws aimed at reducing slavery. The Rio Branco Law of 1871 freed all children born to enslaved parents. This was known as the Law of Free Birth. Then came the Saraiva-Coatgipe Law of 1885, which allowed enslaved people to be freed when they reached the age of 60. By the late 19th century, several factors made slavery less economically valuable in Brazil. The cost of maintaining enslaved people was rising, making it cheaper to hire European immigrants as laborers. The transatlantic slave trade had also sharply declined, which meant fewer enslaved people were arriving in Brazil. Abolitionist movements, both in Brazil and abroad, put additional pressure on the government to end slavery. When the Lei Aurea was signed, it freed approximately 700,000 enslaved individuals. However, it did not include any provisions for their support or integration into society. This left many freed individuals facing difficult social and economic challenges. Plantation owners, who lost their enslaved labor force, began to turn to immigrant workers, leading to increased immigration policies in the 1890s. The political consequences of the Lei Aurea were significant as well. The abolition of slavery angered many slave-owning elites and conservative factions. This discontent contributed to the movement that ultimately led to the overthrow of the Brazilian monarchy and the establishment of the Brazilian Republic in 1889. From a cultural perspective, the Lei Aurea represents a critical moment in Brazilian history. It ended a brutal system that had shaped social hierarchies and cultural identities for centuries. However, the legacy of slavery continues to impact Brazilian society today. The challenges faced by Afro-Brazilian communities after abolition highlight ongoing struggles for racial equality and social justice in Brazil and across Latin America. The Lei Aurea is not just a legal milestone. It marks the beginning of a long journey toward equality.